From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us on your MTN statewide news this Monday. I'm Casey Conlon in for Andrea Lutz. A major blast of winter weather continues to hamstring much of Wyoming. Several feet of snow shut down most roadways in the central and southern part of the state yesterday. Snowplows even ordered off the road since they weren't able to see the edges. Most of the area's schools are closed today, but there is some hope. This is I-80 this morning between Cheyenne and Laramie. Some sun peeking out behind that plow going to work. Let's go over to Miller Robson in the Weather Center. We'll barely see the edge of that front tonight into tomorrow, but nothing like that.
Oh, no, nothing like that. No, and we actually may glean some of that stuff in our area, some rain and maybe some snow. But I want to take a live look. I think we have a live shot of Denver where they just got socked in. They had records amounts of snow. There you go. That's from a chopper. And just look at that. Just white as far as the eye can see. You got some cars that are stuck on the side of the road in the snow. Denver at the airport, they had just over 27 inches. That's record snowfall for the day. They had drifts as high as 4 feet. It's the fourth biggest snowstorm on record, and now it's time for the cleanup. So just keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers. Let's show you some snow totals through this morning. Cheyenne had close to 31 inches of snow. Casper had just over 26 inches. That's a record. Well, actually, they had a record snowfall yesterday of just over 21 inches in one day. There's the snow totals there for Denver with just over 27 and Fort Collins at 24 inches. So, yeah, it was a bad weekend. Now we're looking forward to seeing how we could be affected by that. There's a chance for some rain and maybe some snow, and we'll take a look at that with the main forecast coming up. Casey.
All right. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate that. To Montana news, in Lodge Grass, an officer with the Bureau of Indian Affairs is injured after a shooting yesterday with a suspect who is still at large. The FBI now investigating the incident. The suspect is an adult whose condition is unknown. The officer's injuries were described as minor. We'll get you more information as it becomes available. This week, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will hit the road to educate the public about the new COVID relief plan. They will be joined by their spouses and other cabinet members for what the administration is calling the Help is Here tour. The administration says the tour is not to get more support for the legislation, but to explain all of the help it provides. The tour begins as the first wave of stimulus checks started arriving in bank accounts over the weekend. Montana's case numbers continue to trend in the right direction. The state is back under 1,000 active COVID-19 cases, thanks to just 23 new positives yesterday and 59 reported recoveries. The death toll has remained at 1,403 since Thursday, with one additional death being announced just late this afternoon as it goes up to 1,404. Active hospitalizations, they've gone up by 5 since yesterday. 56 now, your statewide total. News not as good in Italy. A surge in cases means the country will begin another lockdown starting today. Italy reporting 25,000 new cases per day. So starting today, schools, shops, and restaurants will be closed in more than half of the country, including Rome and Milan. A total shutdown takes effect Easter weekend, April 3rd through the 5th. Residents are required to stay home except for work, medical, and other essential reasons. Perhaps even bigger news coming out of that region. The Vatican today issued a controversial message saying the Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex unions because God cannot bless sin. The statement, endorsed by Pope Francis, refers to homosexuality as a choice and said it is a way of life that cannot be recognized as objectively ordered to the revealed plans of God. The words came as a surprise to many after Francis has been seen as the most welcoming leader to the LGBTQ community in the Church's history. But when priests came to the Vatican to clarify if blessing same-sex unions is allowed, the answer was no.
He's saying, yes, everyone is welcome, but when it goes against God's laws, then it becomes sinful. If we bless a union, we're actually putting them on a par with marriage. That, for the church, is outside what God intended in creation.
Francis DiBernardo, Executive Director of New Ways Ministry, an LGBTQ-centered Catholic ministry, says the Vatican decree was disappointing but not surprising. Americans are buying guns in record number. The consulting firm Small Arms Analytics says background checks show nearly 23 million guns were purchased in 2020. That's up from just under 14 million in 2019. The biggest increases happened in March, June, July, and December, coinciding with the first pandemic lockdowns, the protests following the death of George Floyd, and the aftermath of the presidential election. The surge continued into this year, the FBI reports 4.3 million requests for background checks. Following the violence at the Capitol in January, that's up more than 50% from 2020. We're 48 hours from St. Patrick's Day, but some Montanans took advantage of the weekend weather to start the celebration early. The Missoula Irish Dancers performed live Saturday morning for the first time since the pandemic started a year ago. They showcased moves to parents, family, and other onlookers. The traditional Irish step dancing school hosts classes for children grades K through 12. Owner Sarah Donnelly Litz told MTN the students are just excited to be performing again.
It's wonderful. I mean, usually we're slammed for the month of March. Like, we have tons of performances all over town. We only have 2 scheduled for this year, which that's better than nothing. We're just happy to be out here, and kids are so happy to show their parents what they've been working on all year, and so it's really nice.
Now, if you missed the dancing, the Irish Studies program at the University of Montana will present a virtual concert of Irish music on St. Patrick's Day Wednesday. Stay with us. We have more to come on the new news, including a look at the significance of an event called Frappe with a firefighter. The time is now 12:06. First, Miller is back next with your statewide weather forecast.